Hey YouTube family, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I want to talk to you all a little bit about addiction, more specifically shopping addiction. I did release a video the other day about overcoming my addiction. And that's real life, y'all, true story. Please check it out when you get a moment, if you get a chance. And it's, to me, it's serious. It may not be serious to some, but to me, it's serious. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of us have that problem. And not so much, mine was handbags. I mean, you can kind of fill in the blank. Different people have different addictions to different things, right? And it's mainly I want to talk about is having addiction to stuff, to buying stuff. And more, most importantly, buying stuff that we don't need. Especially with everything that's going on. And I don't need to get into that with y'all. Y'all know, y'all see the news, with the tariffs and, all this stuff. And that's what kind of led me to want to kind of start talking to you all about this. And that's why I wanted to show you all my handbags and things like that. A lot of this stuff that they're placing tariffs on are things that we don't even need. Like, it's just stuff that comes from, imports from China and other places. It's just junk, basically. And I'm not saying China produces junk. I'm just saying the stuff that is being taxed is junk, mostly, that kind of stuff. I think the cars and things like that, I think they're going to get some type of exemption or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But to get back at the topic, we don't need all that stuff, y'all. And y'all see me, I've come on here numerous times before, talk about, the stuff. Let's stop buying the stuff. Why are we buying so many stuff? And I have a family member that does the same thing. And I just want to talk about me here for a little bit. And maybe you all, it's a wasp in here. I hope he stays over there. And I want to talk about me, and maybe you all can relate to this a little bit, as far as the stuff. And I say it because it's not so much the stuff, y'all. It's how the stuff makes you feel. And it's, with the handbags and all that, it's like we bought into a dream, a fantasy, if you will. And it made us feel like, we were special, or, that we were rich, even when we weren't. It just gave us that special feeling. And I think the reason I got into it, because it was handbags. I like clothes. I like that kind of stuff also. But back then, before I started my weight loss journey, I couldn't fit into the cute clothes, y'all. I mean, I couldn't buy the clothes and the stuff that I wanted. Like, I would see. I'm sorry if you see me keep looking over here. I'm trying to keep my eye on this wall, so I don't feel like getting stung today. But it's the stuff and how it makes us feel. The clothes. That's what I want to talk about. I was overweight for most of my adult life, especially after I had kids. I had my daughter in my mid-20s. I was 25 and had my daughter. After I had her, I kind of got my figure back a little bit. The weight wasn't too bad. I was carrying like an extra 10 pounds, and I thought I was huge. Looking back, that was ridiculous. But I was, I had gained a little bit of weight. And then I didn't really started putting on the pounds until like in my 30s, mid 30s, 40s. The weight just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. And then by my late 30s, I had my son. So I got, I had my second pregnancy, and that's when I really blew up. I mean, I got up to like the biggest, and I'm short, so I can't weigh a lot. I got up to like the biggest, that I've ever been. And not saying being overweight is a bad thing. It's just that I had trouble with it, because I just wasn't used to being that size. So I had just been struggling all my life, like I said, all my adult life, with weight issues. And so, I would see people, the younger kids or whatever, in the cute clothes and, the crop tops and all that. And I'm like, oh, I can't wear that stuff, because after 2 kids, I don't know about you, but with me, I had the, what they call it, the pouch, the mom belly, whatever you want to call it. And I just couldn't get rid of it, y'all. I just couldn't get rid of it. So I would cover it up. I would wear, to work and stuff, I would wear the big blouses, the ones that don't show anything. They just go straight down and they cover the tummy. I would wear I got into the shift dresses, the dresses that they were. I call them tent dresses now, but they were the dresses that were a little bit larger and they don't show your shape and they actually make you look bigger than what you really are. But I got into that. I would just wear dresses all the time just to cover it up. So I mean, I didn't have to look at it, and nobody else had to look at it, right? Um, so I dealt with that for a very long time. And then that's when I started getting into, I couldn't buy the cute clothes. I couldn't wear the cute clothes because I didn't look right in them. So then I started getting into the shoes. I had a shoe addiction. I had like, at one time, probably over 150 pairs of shoes. I don't know, I lost count. I didn't have anywhere to put all that. You know, I didn't have room in my house. So I had to give away a lot of those shoes to Goodwill. I think I gave away at one point like over 80 pairs of shoes. I'm not proud to say that, y'all, but that's what happened. I gave away 80 pairs of shoes, and I still had over 100 and some in my closet. I recently got rid of a lot of those because when we moved to the new house, we had space, but I just didn't want to carry all that stuff with me. I just didn't want to carry. I just didn't want to be. I just didn't want it anymore. I didn't even wear like high heels. I don't even wear high heels, y'all. I wear sneakers to work. I wear flats. High heels. I can't tell you last time I put on a pair of high heels. But anyway, I say all that to say it's the feeling. It's how I felt about myself. I really didn't feel good about myself. So then after the shoes, I got into, I don't know, that wasp. I might have to cut this short. After the shoes, I got into the handbags. And I've always loved handbags, but I would always, be reasonable with them. I would buy, the whatever I could afford. Okay. So then I took the plunge and then I started going into the luxury thing. And that's because of YouTube, y'all. I'll get on YouTube and watch it, and then it kind of got me addicted to the handbags. But yeah, I was buying the designer bags, and make a long story short, I was just buying stuff that I didn't need, couldn't really afford. But I just had to have that adrenaline, had to get the latest and the greatest. If they said this is the it bag, you better get it, it's limited stock, it's hard to get, I wanted it, right? And I know you all could probably relate. I wanted it. I got to get that bag. I got to get it, got to get it. You get the bag, limited edition, whatever it is, hard to get. You wait in line for them and all that stuff. You all know how it goes. And then once you get it, then there's this letdown, right? It's like you get it, you're happy, but it doesn't last long. And I'm pretty sure you all can relate to that. And that's why we call it addiction, because it doesn't last long once you get it. You get it, and the thrill is gone. The hunt is over. So now what? So you can't really enjoy it. It's like, okay, yeah, this is nice. And then you stick it on the shelf for years and years and years, and you never use it. And that's why you all heard me say in the other video, I got all these bags I don't even use. Don't need them and don't use them, right? So then on to the next one. It's like, when does it end? When does the feeling end? When am I going to feel fulfilled? You never do. That's just part of the addiction. You never do. Because you always want more and more and more and more and more. So, during the pandemic, and it was an awful time for a lot of people, and I'm sorry if you guys, were affected by that. Luckily, I didn't have any family members or close family members that they got really, really sick from it or anything. So, thank goodness for that. But during the pandemic, it taught me a lot about myself because I had time, because everything slowed down. Because, everybody, we're all in a rat race every day, and we're back to that now. But I'm trying not to get back there. But after getting out of the rat race and I slowed down and I had time to do introspection, I had to look at myself and say, hey, what's really going on here? You don't need all this stuff. You don't need a handbag. You don't need a shoes. You don't need a clothes. And so I finally realized, and it clicked with me, and I'm like, I'm not happy with the way I look. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of carrying all this, the mom belly around, and I'm just tired of it. And so I did some things, to take care of it. I went on a weight loss journey. I lost the weight, gained it back, but I lost, some weight, got to feeling better about myself, and that brings us to today. So that's why I said I've overcome the addiction. I don't need those handbags anymore because I'm not completely healed. I still, I'm always, and I'm sure you all can relate to, I could always use some more work. I'm still, I have some things to work on. I still have a lot of issues that are unresolved. But for the most part, I think I've tackled the addiction part of it. I don't feel like I have to have those things. I mean, I'll buy things, yes, but only if I need it for the most part, or if it's a really, really good sale, then I'll get it. But because I'm, still feeling somewhat better about myself. The weight loss thing is still hard because, like I said, I lost weight. I probably gained about 10, 15 pounds of it back. So now on the weight loss thing again. I'm trying to lose the 15 pounds that I gained again. And it just ain't going nowhere. I mean, I've started the weight loss journey, and then it's like about a month now, and I haven't, the scale hasn't budged. I can tell I've lost inches, because my clothes fit a little bit better, but the scale hasn't budged. So I'm hoping that means I'm losing fat and not, just muscle and things like that. But yeah, that's basically it, y'all. So a lot of times, we buying this stuff and all that. We just need to stop and think, why am I buying this? Am I okay? Am I feeling okay about myself? And I think that's the case with a lot of these issues that we have. At least for me, it was. I don't know if you all can relate. Drop me a comment and let me know. But that's my story. About the handbags. And that's why I wanted to share that with you all, because I hadn't shared that before, and I have never really admitted it out in public before that I had a problem. My daughter, she called me out, and she's like, "Yeah, you got a problem," and I'm like, "No, I don't. I can stop anytime I want." But she was right. I did have a problem with it, but I'm better now. I'm going to probably try to sell a lot of those things when the economy gets better, because I think right now people are just not buying. They're just not buying stuff like that, like, because we don't need it, right? We got bills to pay, we got family to feed, we got to keep a roof over our head. So who's worried about buying the latest greatest collection, whatever, Hermes, Chanel, Louis Vuitton? Nobody has time for that. So we're in a different place right now. So when the economy, and it will get better. So when the economy gets better, I'm going to go ahead and try to sell a lot of those ones that I don't use, because otherwise they're just going to sit there and collect dust and they're not doing me any good. And that was another thing. I bought all that stuff thinking it was an investment. It's not, because you're going to lose money. It's not an appreciating asset. You're going to lose money on it. I mean, unless you keep it around for 20 years, but I don't know if I'll be here in 20 years. I hope I am, but I don't know. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share that with you, and just see if any of you have ever gone through anything like that or experienced anything like that, or if you can relate or have a family member or somebody or a friend. Just let me know. Please drop me a comment. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.